Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. This is a two-show kind of day, so I apologize for your inbox being blown up, but that's just what it will be. Listen, today we're talking about, briefly, ESPN layoffs, Marshawn Lynch returning to NFL as an Oakland Raider, Bill O'Reilly going to podcasting, and Coulter versus the college students, and why you must build your own economy. Many people will see this channel and go, Erica, you go on and on about building your own economy. But it isn't till the stores start closing. ESPN laid off 300 people not only about 3 years ago, and I did a show about that, and now they're laying off an additional 100. You see why Skip Bayless, Kyle Hurd, all these people jumped ship earlier in order to save themselves. You know, how do you save yourself? You save yourself by going out and building your own economy. And a lot of times people who are in these broadcasting shows, radio shows, know there's a time limit on their fame and on their run. Prime example, I'll start out the gate with, is Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly knew the caustic, the egregious, angry kind of show only lasts so long before he knew he would either have to go to radio or somewhere else. Now, instead of fighting for radio, he went straight to the internet, podcasting. Why? Because Bill O'Reilly has a solid base of maybe 1 million people who will buy his books every year he releases them. No matter the title, no matter what it's talking about, if they have one book they buy Bill's book, right? Just like Glenn Beck. I used to buy Glenn Beck's books. I was just a loyal fan for who the person was and what they were building. I remember seeing the numbers that Glenn Beck was making $2 million a year at Fox, but he was bringing in an additional $135 million. That's the power of traffic. That's the power of a platform. That's the power of, just honestly growing your platform and your focus. So I'm going to check on here if you guys have any questions, because this is a quick one. But the thing about ESPN, Fox Sports, Kyle Hurd, all these people are starting small little things that just work. They work for their audience. They work to get the word out. I mean, people just don't realize that the internet is so full of opportunity. I'm going to get over here to it. Sorry, I'm getting over to your comments. It's so full of opportunity. All right. What's up, Elle? Looks like it could be a good one. Thanks. I appreciate it. So here's the thing. Marshawn Lynch returning to the NFL. Some people are mad. They're angry. How dare him? He retired. We could have been winning rings at Seattle. But this is the key. When you make your own money, when you save that money he's brought in, you have a platform. You're selling beast mode in stores. You're selling millions of beast mode materials and apparel. The choice was his at all point in time to walk away. Even now, he's going to do this 2-year contract. If he gets hurt, he'll go sit down. But here's the thing. If you look at the Oakland Raiders, they could have won it all. And I'm not one of those people like, oh my God, the dream. No, but from Oakland Raiders have been like terrible for years. And here comes this kid, strong arm, strong legs, and he gets taken down in the playoffs. Like, the Patriots were like, damn, he's coming. The Raiders are coming. And so now you're going to add beast mode to that equation. The quarterback's going to be back because of his leg. You're going to have a bunch of new players want to play in Oakland. Why? Okay, they're in LA and then they're going to Las Vegas in 2 years. So no matter what you think, players want to go somewhere fun. They want to go somewhere fun. They don't want to go to Miami Dolphins. They don't want to go to Jacksonville Jaguars. If they got to go to Houston, they'll go. But they would prefer, sorry about that, somewhere fun. And so I think that's what we're missing in this equation. 40 personality layoffs is crazy. It looks like they're transforming to pre-tape production. Yeah, it's just cheaper. It's cheaper to do. You're right, Elle. It's cheaper to do. And Kyle Hurd and all these people, if you see the size of their studio, it's like this. It's like this big. It's like literally Kyle Hurd has a lady that comes on because polls showed they like when you bounce feedback off somebody, right? So you had Skip Bayless. When Skip Bayless rolled, now Skip Bayless is talking to someone who's I'm not going to say it in a smart way, but compare Stephen Smith or whatever to the new black guy, the big, strong, tall, I forgot his name. But him and Skip Bayless talking is a whole nother level of conversation. You're pulling in millions of people who are like, oh, I hate Skip. But they will watch that show because they're like, that guy, he's got some great conversation. So I think people are missing that. They're missing that interaction level. So a lot of new shows are going to pop up and they're going to be popular. Now, if you look at Colin Cowherd, he has snippets all the time. He has a staff, and I bet all they do is like, how can we pull out snippets to toss up on Facebook to get more traffic? That's what they do for Gary Vaynerchuk. And you'll always have young people coming out of college who know how to work Facebook, who know how to work apps, who know how to work things, and will be like, I can do that for you. I can make those things happen. Now, if you give that kid 40 grand a year, which may not seem like a lot to some of the adults who watch my channel, but if you give somebody coming out of college 40 grand a year and they get to make stuff to go on the internet, I mean, they're living the dream, okay? So the thing about Bill Oreilly podcasting, Bill Oreilly got 18 million a year from Fox, right? From his paycheck. But on the other side of that, I think he got anywhere from 20 to 40 mil and just other money coming in from books, coming in from different things. So if he goes on that podcasting channel and offers ad space, I will not doubt if I go look on Bill Oreilly's podcast by next week, he'll probably have 5 million in advertisers. So what does 5 million tell you? 5 million is enough for me to have a little studio, have some staff that want to work for Bill Oreilly, and sell my other books and keep talking about how I was kicked off of Fox and how I'm here for the no spin zone. I mean, all this is just going to do is grow who he is. So Elle says, personally, I enjoy the non-corporate dialogue and it's more real and sustainable material. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Another one, Ann Coulter. So Ann Coulter, honestly, Ann Coulter has kind of been on the backside of things. Somehow she's kind of slid a little bit. Now she has tons of books out. She has a fan base, but she was sliding because when your team wins, people are like, okay, Trump won. But so this thing happening to Ann Coulter where she's going to a college and she wants to speak and the kids are literally rioting so she doesn't speak. All this is doing is growing her brand. This brings her back out of like going to retirement, back to the forefront, right? So now people are going to go out and buy her books to support that. They're going to be like, you see those kids, those college spoiled kids stopping this woman from her free speech. I mean, that's what it is. That's all it's going to do is build that for her. So I think it's not an L. I think it's a win. It's not a loss, it's a win, right? So, but the key here is at every time, build your own economy. I have literally sat down with friends and showed them my back office, showed them YouTube, showed them how I do credit repair, showed them how I write books, showed them all these things, and they still couldn't get their mind wrapped around it. Because what will happen is you will have people go through life and they're thinking there's only a certain way to make money. There's only a certain way to do things, and you cannot break them from that. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, you cannot break them. And a lot of times people say when I do my consulting calls, Erica, my wife or my family member or my brother is doing this thing, but I really want to take them on with me. I want to grow this business with them. And from personal experience, from partnerships with family members, from partnerships with friends, I promise you, if they do not have the same mindset you have, you should leave them. You should leave them, not a spouse, but you should not try to drag them along. Can't drag a dead body down the river. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. At some point you got to let go. And it's the mindset. It's truly, truly the mindset, because there are people I know who we started at the same time 2 years ago, and they dropped 20 grand on a credit card onto YouTube, and their sales are crazy, but it's all about traffic. It's all about traffic. That's the thing with Colin Cowherd. That's the thing. All those good things. Can you show us the back office? So Elle, here's the crazy part. I'm trying to find ways that it's safe and put it in a course, but I know several people who've got like identity theft that just happened to them, and they've been showing like paychecks but covered. They've been showing credit cards but covered. I've asked kind of Juan Pablo, how does he do it in a way that's safe? Because he has 21 credit cards with like $200,000 in money on them, and he's kind of like covering them so you see them but you don't. So just a way that's safe, that doesn't leave me exposed to identity theft, because I've had that happen when I first moved to Texas. So I'm like, whoo, because a lot of it, I don't even have to show you. A lot of it I can literally diagram. It's a simple funnel. You make the videos and you have offers at the bottom of the video, and people can have the choice to buy or don't buy. A lot of times, if you're watching this channel, the main focus of this channel is clean your credit up, have access to capital, and you can make a decision. You can either start your business, and you have that capital, if you have anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, even if it's on credit cards, and you start a business, you're just in a better position than other people. The guy that has no money and has to go knock doors and is scraping by and like going to Home Depot with his last $200 to buy better equipment, you know, he's in a tough spot. Yes, he can outwork you, but if you've got 10 to 50 grand, even if it's on credit cards, you can hire staff. You can do a lot of stuff. So Elsa didn't know that. Sorry. Yeah, it was crazy. I went and it was like, everything's frozen. I'm like, but I need my money to live. You know, it was super crazy. And I literally, even when we finished processing and I moved to a new apartment, they were like, oh, you know, a fraud hit came back for you. And I'm like, this is me. I'm the actual person moving here. So if I can find a way that's safe and it doesn't, you know, even my mother's address was on one GoDaddy domain or something. And she, you know, she's got stuff that's come in the mail. She's like, what is this about? So just being safe on the internet. So that's why when I talk to you guys about, you know, getting business credit and having a little office in the long term, I know people are like, man, I want to spend $100 to $200 on an office. It actually is super beneficial to you. It saves you so much drama, so much hassle, and all your mail piles up at this one place, and it's wonderful. So Alvin said, credit is wonderful and awful how you use it. A credit line with a crappy business model spells disaster. Oh yeah, but here's my thing, Alvin. Here's the kicker. I think you'll learn faster. You know what I mean? I meet people all the time who have this business idea they've been tinkering with for 2 and 3 and 4 or 5 years. And if they would have got out there 2 years ago with a little bit of credit, they'd have been like, oh, this is a dud. Like 6 months in, they'd have been done, not 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And I see people do that all the time. They'll be 5 years later, they're like, yeah, that really was a sucky ideal. But they didn't know that till they took action. And that's the key there, is taking action. Credit magnifies whatever you have and do, either bad or good. That is 100% true. There was a guy who called Dave Ramsey show saying his dad had made an infomercial in the 90s, about 15 years ago. So yeah, this is 90s. And they made $15 million, and the mom and him split. He gives the mom $1 million. This is all after taxes, right? From one infomercial. 15 years later, they're both absolutely broke. So whatever comes into you, if you don't change what's going on up here and on here, like I know people who've made a lot of money and they're still pouring every single cent and dollar they have into their mom who's still living in Section 8, into their brother who's barely doing bare minimum and has multiple kids. I mean, I've seen it. You know, I've seen it. It's like the I'm gonna save them syndrome. But if I honestly, to this day, if I could go talk to that guy, he's from my hometown, and be like, if you actually take all that money you're giving your family and actually focus on like buying rentals, you know, the money you want to turn around and give them, you can magnify. So, but it's still a bad habit. So Alvin says, I got you. Some people go too fast. Some people go too slow. Yeah, I mean, this is the best thing. Like when people have ideals, or when people are in conversation with me on Facebook and they say, well, Erica, you know, oh, PayPal's doing this or this is doing that. And I go, that's not true. I did 40,000 on PayPal in the past 8 months. What are you talking about? That's not accurate. You're telling something that's not accurate. Like, and when I correct them, they're like, well, that's what I read. Okay, then you're not doing it. 2 different things. And so I want people to be doing it. I want people to take action. Like even with real estate, like I was like, oh, I want to be a real estate agent so bad. I'm in Texas. I want to be a real estate agent. And I was in the apartments and all I could see is like, man, they're coming in here. They have free time. And when I really got deep into real estate and I got my real estate license, the first thing I thought is, you know, what's the real win? Investing. And honestly, like being an investor didn't take as much money or time as I really thought. Like I got to work one-on-one with a friend of mine. His name is Josh Dykoff. If you guys don't even know him, it's JRL Mansions. It's basically a real estate investor company here. And really, if you've got $20,000, bandit signs, some letters, whew, for real, you can get rolling way faster than you think. And Austin's a really hot market, so it's tough for him here. But if he had that same work ethic and task in Nashville or Georgia or Florida, that kid would probably own half of those places. So, all right. Alvin Third said, lottery winners go broke often, no idea how to manage money. Good mentors cut down on that learning curve. You know, this is the thing. The mentor appears when the student is ready. And so like even with the NFL, they give these guys 20, 30, 40 different options for financial advisors. for classes. They give them money classes. They give them all kind of stuff. And what will happen is you have an 18 to 20-year-old kid who's there like, whatever, I'm just here for my minimum. Shut up and give me my money. So you have to be, that person has to really be there. You know, they have to be ready. And I'm gonna read, lottery winners. So the thing about lottery winners, which is ultimately funny and sad, is there actually was a really nice white family of like, you know, just middle class folks who had a little small business, and I think they're in Minnesota or Wisconsin. You guys can Google this. And they won the lottery across the four of them. Like, they don't play the lottery often. They just decided to do it that day as just like a joke, and they won like 20 or 30 million dollars. And the first thing they were saying is like, oh, we're gonna grow our business, and we're gonna buy real estate, and we're gonna invest in other people's businesses. And it cracked me up because it was like the one time someone wins the lottery and changes their projection. I mean, there was even a guy who, there was a guy who worked at Gold's Gym as a personal trainer. And his number one goal was to buy the gym from his boss, and also take all the other money and invest it in like real estate and all that stuff. So there's two cases, you know, where somebody's really like putting it like, oh my God, I won this for real? This is a joke. You know, but I've seen other cases where I go to the gas station and there's a guy in there with like teeth missing and a daughter looking dirty, and he's got like $100 in rub-offs, and I'm like, you need to think about that thing. Let me see what's over here. Okay, Jeff Daniel, so true. The mentors can only work if they have students. You got to want it in order for it to even work. Yes, Jeff Daniel. See, here's the thing. I have clients right now. Like, I know you guys might have seen my message. If you guys are on the email list, which is from the blog, classysel.com, where I was like, hey, you know, I might have to cut the payments down and make people pay $1,000 deposit to go into some of the consulting, because I've had people who start fast and then just quit. They quit paying, they quit doing their part. And it's like, I'm doing the payments to help you. I want you to make sure you grow. So it doesn't hurt me to see that. It makes me sad for that person, because it just means like you're a quitter. But I'd rather you know you're a quitter than never try. So, I mean, and a lot of the free videos and a lot of the courses could do a ton of stuff for you. But 9 times out of 10, when people say, Erica, how fast is this credit repair going to go? How fast can I get all these business lines of credit? And I'm going to start doing audio. I'm trying to protect the identity of my clients, but I'm going to do some audio recordings and see if I can do it that way. Of a couple of my clients I have in Florida, a couple I have in Chicago, and a couple I have in Virginia, and the 2 in California, and see if they can talk about it, because like in an audio version way, because like, some of them, we've been working together 30 days and they've already started getting bank accounts and getting funding. Some of them, it's been several months, but they're changed. Their personality has changed. Their mindset has changed. Their desire for what they need has changed. Their focus for what we're going to invest the money in has changed. A lot of times people come into it and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna get all this money, I'm gonna do this. But if you take a minute to absorb it, like, what is the real true game plan here? Boy, I mean, that's when you're winning, okay? So, but yeah, any other questions, you guys definitely, definitely throw them in there. But the key is, it depends on you. How fast do these things move? Depends on you. Depends on your desire, what's your focus. I have a lot of people in here who want to retire in 5 years, which I think is honorable. Like, figure out what you want to do with your time and your life. And if you've been working and you're almost 50-something years old, trust me, 5 years is doable. Even if I've seen some people's balance sheets. Even if you just bought 2 properties a year for 5 years, you'd be done. I mean, if some of you, if your car's paid off and all you have left is your house and the expenses you have with your spouse, a lot of you would be done. You'd just be done. Now, at that point, I would probably, if I said, let me be a little bit more accurate. Some of the people that are in Texas, some of my clients, I have like 12 clients in Texas right now. So if you're in Texas, and some of the people I'm talking about are in Plano, they're in Irving, they're in Dallas, they're in Denton, and they're looking at, these duplexes on these couple areas that are 150,000, 180,000, and they get 2 of those a year. 2 of those a year for 5 years. They're donezo, and they know it. And I think people have, they've been like, oh, I don't know. But I think if you successfully use clues, and 80% of multimillionaires have real estate. Oprah has them. bagoogles of real estate, which I think people just don't realize that. But Oprah has a ton of real estate. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, all these people, they own a ton of real estate. So it's all about how you think about it. Hold on, let me grab the phone. I see you guys are messaging. Jeff Daniels, yes, I'm moving at a pace where our thinking is realistic. We want to plan and adjust as needed. Also, we're heading in the direction of trying to acquire a mortgage so we have a better position. So Jeff, yeah, it just all depends on what works for you and who you're with. Because if you start out married to your spouse and you're just a 9-to-5er, she's a 9-to-5er, and you want to introduce this new thing, this is the most important thing I can tell you guys from all the 32 clients I have right now. If you have a wife and she's home with a baby or she's working, the first deal you do, listen to me carefully, has to win. It has to win. You cannot pick a dud. You can't pick a property that it's gonna grow in value. You can't pick any dud properties. I'm experiencing this with the clients, the Texan clients in Chicago. Like, in order for your wife to be on board with this, literally, folks, it has to be a winner. It has to be something simple, and it has to close quickly. Because the longer you draw out on that first deal, the less likely she will be supporting you for the next. And that's what you want. You want your wife going, baby, that was so amazing. Let's do it whenever you want to. I'm ready to invest. Here's my credit. Here's my time. Here's my money. Here's my energy. And you much rather have that spouse than a spouse who's like, we tried that already. I don't want to hear it again. Don't talk to me about it again. We already lost money on the last deal. And that will be your life. I mean, go on Bigger Pockets if you don't believe me. Go on Bigger Pockets forums and see about all the different spouses people have almost lost spouses because of that. So, .com show, starting a cleaning business in Oklahoma. I need to talk to you before I get started. Hey, .com show, you already know, click the links below. And you can talk to me on consult. So 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. I try to do 3. I've been doing lately 5 calls a day, but I'm trying to keep it to 3 or 5. And I thank you guys for all you people paying for your calls. I appreciate it. A lot of times you need to bounce an ideal off somebody who's just not your family members who are like, why you want to do that? So anyway, L, do you think that is possible in the Midwest? Yes, there's a great Bigger Pockets cast. Oh, what is it? The show called? It's a guy, but look it up if you can. It's about Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. And you're like, Madison, Wisconsin. Okay, Madison, Wisconsin. And he buys, and it's a University of Wisconsin there. And on the edges of the town, edges of where the college students live and stuff, they're like tall buildings and duplexes sometimes for 40 grand, 40, 50 grand. Now, imagine his rents out there are not super high. They're like $600, $675, you know? But imagine, $675 times 10 buildings, $675 times 20 buildings, $675 times, you know what I mean? You got to it's the volume at that point if you're talking about in the Midwest. So another example is Clayton Morris. You guys can look up ClaytonMorris.com, I think, or .net. Sorry, you guys, or Clayton Invest. MorrisInvest.com, I think, is also his other site. But basically, he works for Fox as a weekend broadcaster, right? Like a weekend TV head personality, and realized, oh my God, so much money's being made in real estate. And so he flips about 15 properties, him and his whole team, 15 properties a month in Indiana. And so if you got 40 grand cash, you can work with him. He's not big on the mortgage, folks. He's not big on the people who want to put a little bit of down payment and get a mortgage because they're moving so fast. It's just like speed of money. So let's say you get 40,000 in business credit or 40,000 in a business line of credit, or 50,000 in several between personal loans and business lines of credit. And you take that 40 and you close it out and you're turning around getting rent for like $675, $720 in Indiana. You can turn around and refinance that house and do it again. It just depends on how you want to do it. BigNate.org. What's the cost of your business credit? Restructure the sentence. I think you mean, what's the cost of me like helping you? I think that's what you're trying to talk about. I think that's what you're saying. So Big Nate, but most people go and they get on a consult call with me. We kind of see what's your future and your goal, and if I can actually help you, if I can help, what's your timeline. Sometimes people have really unreasonable ones, so I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I'm the best fit for you as a counselor, and I'll recommend you some of my friends here out on the internets. But what I will do is say, okay, here's what your goal is. Here's the number you need to reach, and here's how many bank accounts you might need. Because a lot of times my clients think they'll have one bank. And I literally look you in the face and I go, What happens if your bank tomorrow goes, no more loans for you? No more cash for you, no more loans for you. Or like Grant Cardone, they freaking called him in and asked him to pay his loans right then and there. Now, he could have lost a couple apartment complexes and money that goes to his business. So if you're one of my clients, I will tell you right now, I'm going to advise you and assist you in opening at least 4 bank accounts. Because if all at one time you drop apps and you drop and get, 40 grand to 50 grand from each bank, just saying, do the math. So anyway, I'll leave that there. But yeah, reach down to the notes always below. It's like http Erica Shante Williams at .selz.com. It's always in the notes. I'll even put it in the notes right now while I'm here talking. Because it's best for me to talk to you because, hey, I want to make sure what I'm wanting to do works for you. What your goal is works for me. Let me tell you a horror story. One of my clients, I got them a $74,000 business credit card with Navy Federal. He already knows this. He's watching this channel. He knows I'm going to talk about this. $74,000 business credit card. We got him a $30,000 business line of credit. Some other things on the other sides. And him and his wife decided to go, they're going to go hang out in Europe for a month. And I go, look, this is your money at this point. Whatever you choose to do is that. But if you think you're going to buy a bunch of properties and drop almost 20 grand on some vacation time, and he knows, I told him, you're going to be an example on my show. I'm going to talk about you. So anyway, let me see here. Okay. Alvin says, when do you know it's time to spend less and work more on the efficiency of your businesses? So Alvin, this week, I've had to sit down and, add more courses, add some different stuff in there. I have a painting company and I'm losing 2 of my guys. So now I had to go over there and go, okay, now I've got to hire a guy to do phone calls and I've got to hire an additional painter because the summer is no joke. We're painting 3 houses for 1 flipper. We're painting another 3 properties that are in the process of being remodeled. And then we're doing power washing for a couple of houses. We're also doing fence repair. And so it's like, you have to decide, do you want to be a manager role or do you want to be in your business? So it depends on your business, Alvin. What do you need to do? Do you need to hire somebody to help you? And you don't have to hire full-time. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of moms. Let me kick you on a real tip. There's a lot of moms who, if you give them 8 to 5, 8 to 2, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 11 to 2, they will love you. And they'll take $15 or $12 an hour and they'll work their butt off. I'm really serious. So, and this is where I talk about getting offices too. Okay, Clayton. L says, Clayton invest. Yes. If you can get with Clayton, do it. It's worth it. There's some folks in Kansas I talk about on the channel. I don't know if you guys seen it. All right, NY Uber driver. Erica, real quick question. I opened up Lending Club account to invest. Should I use my personal bank account or my business bank account to transfer the money into Lending Club? Okay, so that one is completely up to you. Is this your business investing in this or is this you personally investing in this? The key, honestly, is just get rolling. Pick your strategy, but get rolling. It's, you drop, if every couple of weeks you drop, every other week you drop 100 in there, and you buy 4 notes, before you know it, you'll have a ton. And everybody knows what I did. I started it with $1,000. This is around the time I was talking about, I got my credit. I got my, my identity theft scare. I dropped $1,000 from my tax refund, and I bought 40 notes at $25. And so I remember going to the bank and the banker going, man, look at you, investor, blah, blah. And I want to laugh almost because I'm like, yeah, it's 40 notes and it looks like a long sheet of paper of notes, but they're all 25 apiece, right? Or, it just made it very interesting. Okay. Alvin, how long do you have to season an account relationship with a bank or credit union before starting approaching for credit, business credit, or lines of credit? Alvin, I got to cut it a little bit early because I have my other show coming up. But listen, I'm going to say this and people are going to believe me, but you can go Google it for yourselves. I could go to a bank today. I can go open a business account today. I can go and apply for a business line of credit and leave my bank book that I show you guys how to do in consulting and get money. Get money that now usually takes 5 to 7 days, depending on the bank, to approve things, but you can do it that fast. Now, if you're at Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and they're going, we don't know you, that's bullcrap. What they're saying is they want to see what you're going to do for the next month. Now, here's a kicker. Here's another kicker. If you guys, I'm going to give you this. I love it. I have clients who all they do is drive for Uber and Lyft. They do a little bit of service on the side, service business on the side, like cut grass, rake leaves when they can. He just dropped deposits every day into his bank account. He would just go to the ATM with little nice business little things, and you'd slide them in there, the overnight draft. And he'd also drop things with the ATM card, and he'd drop about 50 or 100 bucks a day. He goes into 30 days and applies for a business line of credit and business credit card. Take a guess how much he got. Take a guess. And he only dropped $50 and $100 every day. Wasn't a lot. Boom. He got $25,000 unsecured business credit card, and I think he got $15,000 unsecured business loan. So we just told him, hey, I'm using it for working capital. But what they're looking at is you're doing deposits regularly. Some of y'all have banks, the only time you deposit money is your direct deposit. Of course, they're gonna be like, we can give you a car, but that's it. I mean, a little trick here is take, let's say you got paid from selling something at your house, and it's like 500 bucks. Drop that money in 100 at a time every day. See if some of the offers in your My Offers at USAA, Navy Federal, any of these accounts don't start popping up in the right corner. All right. Frankie Mind. I'm sorry, I'm killing that. Mind one. How many people ESPN laying off? They're laying off 100 today. 40 people that are supposed to be in front of the camera. The rest are behind. They just did this 3 years ago. They laid off 300 people, almost 400 people. And so you see Skip Bayless, Callan Cowherd, all these people were like, I got to jump ship now. Some people went to Fox Sports, some people, but as you notice, the next culture is collabos. They have a woman, they have two men talking. And it's because if you're really honest, that's what's been going on in podcasting culture. It's like 2 or 3 guys coming home after work and they're talking about sports for an hour. And it's a show. So now they've copied that model from online. Look, you guys, I'm about to get ready to run this last 2 minutes. If you have any questions, throw them in right now. Well, damn, says Alvin. Okay, NY Robert, I want you to do it as business. Got it. Thanks, Erica. You're the best. No problem. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm trying to be careful. CYA, consult your attorney, consult your accountant. And if you're watching my channel and you don't have anybody you can call as an attorney and you don't have anybody to call as an accountant, you haven't been listening. There are some really cheap real estate attorneys and there's some real cheap, you can do your booking a month for $100 or less accountants out there. Doesn't mean they're bad, just means there's a surplus of real estate attorneys and accountants and they're willing to work. So Alvin, is the timeline easier for small banks and credit unions or for major banks? Let me tell you something. I don't like major banks. If you watch this channel, I don't like them. Most of my clients, when I work with you, if I recommend 10 banks to you, I bet you not one of them will be a big name bank or a well-known bank. The strategy is always looking for banks that have 4 branches or less and have real dinky websites. I'm not even joking. Alvin Ollinger, 100,000. 100,000. Alvin, this is my thing. What business do you have to show? And I'm being really serious, not being a smart ass. Like if you go in there and they go, show me your records for the past 2-3 years. When you come out the gate asking for 100,000, you've got to show something. My thing is a lot of the clients, you're going to give a personal guarantee. A lot of people don't realize this for those first set of business loans. So if you've got the 680, shit, if you've got 650 to 750 and you've been working your job and you've got years on the job, you're getting 20 and 40 and 50 right off the back. It just depends on what's your situation. That's why I say I'd rather you have 3 or 4 banks, because if you hit all 3 or 4 at the same time and they all dropping you 40, hey now, who's winning? So anyway, have you experienced a credit card? Alvin, you're gonna have to call me. You're gonna have to put in a freaking consultation, Alvin. You're like going over all of it. And I'm actually saving some of that conversation because I have Lawrence Martin is coming back, and I think Cortez is coming back. And also 2 other people are coming back. So that's like, it depends on your situation, dude. It's all situational. So look, everybody, thank you for joining the show today. Listen, these comments don't make it over to the other side. So if you could please hit the like button. If you could please hit the share button. I appreciate it every single time. You guys are the best. Thank you for hanging out. My next show is coming up with Evan Jefferson. And basically, we're talking about commerce and changing your life. How do you change your life in 5 years with commerce and wealth building? So again, Alvin or anybody who wants to watch the next show, it's basically you can come in and ask about how to build wealth, banking, all that stuff. You can come on over and do it again. So, hey everybody, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. Listen, always look for the comments below for the links for hitting the courses, books, or consulting. Later, you guys.